Hi guys, Terry here. Hey, I just got back from a scrapbooking weekend. If you've never been, it's really fun to get a group of ladies together and schedule a place to either have it at one of your houses or for many years we booked a cabin in Hocking Hills. And this was a new place we stayed at called Made on Main. It's in Asheville, Ohio, and we really enjoyed it. So I'll have a link to that location if you want to book it and have fun. But we laughed and watched movies and ate too much. It was a lot of fun. But I wanted to show you the scrapbook layouts that I made. So this is a one-pager that I made for my son's book. He has gotten really good in this last year of sending me photos, so I like to throw those into his book. I always thought when my kids were grown I wouldn't keep their scrapbooks going, but it's really fun to, you know, take those pictures and just make those memories in the book so they can flip through them. So that is a one-pager. Most of my other pages here are two-pagers. My husband and I like to go to the Broadway series, so this was in October we saw Hamilton, and in November we saw Hairspray. So these pages I picked the colors based on the dresses and costume colors that they had in there, so I think those turned out good. And this one I did the mosaics, and I used my new template. So I used my own pattern paper and drew the grid with this new plastic grid that they're offering. So I'll have a link to Mosaic Moments website where you can buy this template. But what's nice is you don't have to buy their paper. You can simply use this grid and draw the lines on your page and then cut your photos to fit in those squares. So it's just, you don't need the lines on the paper, but it is a handy way to just make the, it's a handy way to get a lot of photos on the page, and you can arrange them kind of without thinking. It's nice to just, you know, I laid out my photos and said, okay, they can fit like this, and then I filled it in with some pattern paper. So I find it handy to have the lines on the paper. So those two will go in my book. And then this was a trip down to Florida. I was down there after Hurricane Ian hit. So I just wanted to capture what had happened to the damage to my parents' house. And then it was good to see my mom. She has just finished up her breast cancer radiation. So I wrote on this page to remember that we went through the pandemic, and she went through the hurricane, and she went through breast cancer. So I hope this year is much calmer. So those pages turned out good. This one I didn't draw the lines on it. I simply matted the 4 pictures onto a solid color and then put that onto a pattern paper. I really like to use pattern paper as my background. So it's just nice to mat the photos on a solid color to kind of break up that pattern paper. And then just to tie it into the side page here, because I did use 2 different pattern papers, I used the beige over here to mat it, and then I ran that over here. And then I had a scrap of this paper that I used down here. It might have even been the strip off the bottom of the paper, just to tie those colors in. This was a horse show that I went to with my friend Michelle last year, and I've got a little bit about the horses, and then I love this wood grain paper with the hearts, and I don't remember what company made this paper. Might have been Echo Park, but yeah, I love how these turned out. So. And I've journaled. I'm trying to get better at making sure I capture the story in the journaling block. This is the grandson's birthdays last November. So again, pattern paper, which I love, and then I matted the photos on this solid piece of yellow. Put the title on here, and I'll probably journal, write a little bit about them over here, put a little journal block. But as you can see, I love the pattern paper. I double matted these because this paper is super busy. So, love how those turn out. Those will go in my oldest son's book. And then I didn't take a lot of pictures for Steve and Mai's birthdays. So we had our anniversary dinner, and then he got me flowers, and we went to Olive Garden, and then I've got some pictures of family here. So I like how this turned out. As you can see, I tried filling in. You know, we've got these letters to use, and it seems like you get down to the last of them. If you can see here on the letter P, I think I used an F and tried to make a P out of that. So I think we have that problem with our letters, right? You get down to the last few. I made R's out of these letters over here. But I think it works. Once it's in the page, you won't notice that it's kind of letter surgery on there. So that'll go in my book. I need to put the date on there. This was a crop that we did last, when did we do this? This was back in November. So this one, I didn't draw the grid lines, but I simply cut the pictures to fit going across there in a grid fashion. And I also used this scrapbooking paper that had really cute sayings on it. And then I wrote down that the girls surprised me for my 60th birthday. So that was really cute. So that'll go in my Crop Circles book. And then we've got a few more here. So this was Thanksgiving. Again, I felt like I didn't take a lot of pictures, but love the pattern paper. And, you know, I got a group photo. I got a picture of the food. And I think that tells the story. And I don't know if you noticed on that one, I just used the pattern paper and cut it in half. Well, a little bit more than half. I cut it here, and then I ran that other strip down the side, and that was really all it took to decorate the page. And then I've got a lot of Christmas photos, but I started with the decorations. I wanted to remember how we decorate the house. So this one has a lot of pretty Christmas paper, and then just how we decorated the house. And then I've got more pictures of everybody opening up their presents, so I need to do that in a second layout. This was Trick or Treat with the grandsons. I think I've got some space here, so I think I'm going to put a couple more pictures on here. This one, I loved the purple paper and the stripes, and I just ran that down the side. I put a couple accents on here, and then this was cute. So this is actually cut in half, if you notice that. So I just ran that across there. And yeah, so I've got a picture for, I got spots for a couple more pictures. So I think I'll go through my pictures and grab a couple more. And then the final one was just a before and after picture of our foyer that we did downstairs. So I've got what the basement looked like before and then after, and then the hallway before and after. So, and then I've got some pictures of Steve doing the project. So I think it turned out really cute. Again, I just used a piece of paper, cut it in half, and put it on the sides, and then knew I wanted my pictures to go across. And I think it turned out cute. And then I had these little, you know, we have just beautiful paper to use, right? So I just sprinkled a couple of those down on the bottom. So that will go in my book. So I'll have a link to the things that I mentioned, and thanks for watching my recent scrapbook layouts. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.